The Battle of the Twilight Gap. After the battle at the Sixth Front, the Fallen realised the city would not go down without a fight, and so the Fallen devised a plan in which all houses set aside their conflicts to combine forces and launch a full-scale assault on the city led by the House of Devils. Our defences were boldly led by Lord Saladin, creator of the Iron Banner, alongside his protégés, Commander Zavala, the Titan Vanguard mentor, and Lord Shaxx, creator of the Crucible. As the war approached, the Fallen gathered in the fields beyond our walls, painting the land in the colours of devils, kings, winter, exile, and wolves. With limited defences available, the battle looked uncertain, but with the leadership of Lord Saladin, they would just pull through. Being in the position that they were, one wrong move would have meant the end for the city, so until something could be figured out, Guardians were simply ordered to hold the line. Meanwhile, Warlocks worked their magic in an attempt to break the enemy, whilst the artillery guns dealt with Fallen walkers. Guardians fought endlessly to keep the Fallen from breaching the walls. In the distance amongst the chaos, the hymn of the Thunderlord rang out with each shot. Every round fired was like a tank shell, able to be heard throughout the battle. A hunter known as Anna Bray, the relative of Elsie Bray and Clovis Bray, was also present at the gap to aid the city's defences, but alas, she too fell, along with thousands of other Guardians. Eventually, the Twilight Gap was overrun, the walls fell, and Fallen began invading the city. A decision had to be made. Lord Shaxx decided to take action by leading his personal combat frames in a counter-attack against the invading Fallen, knowing that in doing so, he could have risked everything. Luckily, he succeeded in driving the Fallen out of the city, regaining lost ground and turning the tides of battle in the city's favour. Prior to this battle, Lord Shaxx and Saladin were good friends, but something happened during this battle that has strained the relationship between the two. As Shaxx was under Saladin's command, it is speculated that Shaxx led his frames in the counter-attack without Saladin's permission, as this left the other walls vulnerable. In the end, our defences prevailed. We once again staved off the Fallen, and the battle brought about some much needed changes throughout the city. The Vanguard now works to target high-level threats and take them out through the use of strikes, before our enemies can rise again. And Lord Shaxx decided to stay with the city and created the Crucible in order to forge the next generation of Guardians. From this battle came Gjallarhorn. The Gjallarhorn shoulder-mounted rocket system has gained quite the reputation, and for good reason. Any tales you may have heard of this weapon are probably true. Only a handful of Guardians have had the honour to experience the spirit of this howling beast, and if you're lucky enough, maybe you'll get to wield this horn of destruction for yourself. A reputable gunsmith known as Feasel Crux, the same man who crafted Truth, Dragon's Breath, and various other launchers, crafted Gjallarhorn as a gift to those who survived the battle of the Twilight Gap. Crux wanted Gjallarhorn to shine in every way. Unlike traditional rocket launchers, this beauty was forged from the very armour of the Titans who gave their lives to defend the city against the countless hordes of Fallen. Gjallarhorn's signature feature, the Wolfpack rounds, causes warheads to split into smaller homing missiles after the initial detonation, bringing utter devastation upon any poor soul who comes into Gjallarhorn's sight. Warheads also seek their prey, as well as detonate based on proximity, meaning that there is no escaping the coming fire. Once Gjallarhorn has you locked, your fate is sealed. And even if by some miracle a target does survive the blast, the Wolfpack will be there to finish the job. The name Gjallarhorn is Old Norse for yelling horn, and is derived from Norse mythology. It is the name of an instrument used by the god Heimdall, who would blow into Gjallarhorn to signal the beginning of Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse. Many parallels can be drawn between Destiny and Norse mythology, as well as many other sources. For example, one theory is that the darkness is a translation of Völuspá, an Old Norse poem, which talks about the creation of the world and its destruction at Ragnarok, but that's a whole different subject for another time. Gjallarhorn is an unmistakable weapon. Any Guardian would recognise it as it loudly announces its presence on the battlefield with a howl. Enemies both on the frontier and in the Crucible fear this weapon, as its ability to cause destruction is unmatched by any other weapon. During its creation, Fiesel Crux proposed the question: if there is beauty in destruction, why not also in its delivery? And so he put as much care and effort into Gjallarhorn's aesthetics as he did its power. Intricate designs, lovingly crafted from armour plating, cover this launcher's body. Its own custom tube can hold 2 shells at a time, and embossed above the optical sight is the noble symbol of the crest of Alpha Lupi. But what really characterises this ornate weapon are the gilded wolves that make it feel like more than just a weapon. Hearing about Gjallarhorn almost makes it sound like more of a trophy than a delivery mechanism for absolute annihilation. The Guardians from which this weapon is forged may be gone, but even in death, Gjallarhorn carries the light of all those who fell. Avenge them. Pull the trigger and release the fury of the wolf pack upon anyone who dares threaten the last city.